The file storage section of the software has several settings that you can use to control the behavior of your software, plus a couple of utility functions. If we click the button on the main menu page, there are 5 tabs here at the top. The first tab is the Account tab. When you ran the installation program, it asks you for your first name, last name, and email address. And by default, it set your treatment files to be saved at the local machine, which means that when you create treatment files or you load your MR7, those files are going to be saved on your computer. That is fine for most people, but if you are a practitioner and you have a clinic or some type of practice, massage therapy, whatever, you may want to use cloud storage. And when you select cloud here, it's going to use these settings to access your account on the cloud. So whenever you make changes to any of these settings on any of these tabs, you want to hit the Save Changes button and they'll be saved. The Treatment Files tab is the default display setting for where it's going to get the treatment files to display in the Treatment Files function. For example, when you click the Treatment Files button on the main menu page, if this is set to local machine, it's going to go to the first person on the list and get their treatment files off of the local machine and display them. If you have cloud selected, then when you go to the Treatment Files function, it's going to take the first person on the list, go out to the cloud, and download their treatment files from the cloud and then display them. Combined is a combined list of local machine and cloud because sometimes you can get them out of sync and they won't be the same. The Serial Number tab just displays the serial number of your MR7 if it's connected to the computer. The Detect method, by default, when you run the installation program, it's going to set your Detect method to auto-detect. And what this means is that the Pulsed Frequency software is going to automatically look for your MR7 at the various USB ports on your computer. And when it finds it, it'll remember where it's at. For the overwhelming majority of the cases, auto-detect is what you should use. In some rare cases, like on some older laptops or some finicky laptops or very finicky systems, once in a while we find that manual detect is a better method and you will need to detect your device manually. However, if that happens, you can consult the user guide and it will explain the process to you. The Backup Restore tab has 2 functions, backup and restore. Backup backs up all Pulsed Frequency software installed on your software to a flash drive or an external hard drive. And this includes the file banks, files you have created, and your settings. This does not back up the software. This backs up the files that you've created, which to most people they feel is the most important thing. The restore function does the opposite. It restores all file banks, files you've created, and settings from a flash drive or external hard drive to all Pulsed Frequency software installed on your computer. Now, what are these functions useful for? If you want an additional backup, if you're a person or a clinic and you want to back up these treatment files of your patients or your clientele, this is a quick way to back them up to an external storage device. Another use of this capability is you can back up your desktop computer and you can restore the files onto a laptop. This is useful if you want to have the Pulsed Frequency software on both locations, or if you're taking a business trip and you want to take your laptop along with the software. You back it up on the desktop computer and then you can restore it on another computer or a laptop. And those are the functions in the file storage section of the software.